Finally, I got the bike running great last week and I managed to get it to the drag strip last night. If you're new to the channel, this is my 2020 Triumph Bobber Black. I first of all put a 2TS supercharger on it. If you haven't seen that, there's plenty of videos about how I did that. So hit that little icon and subscribe, and then you go back and watch that later after you watch this video. And then I put twin turbos on it because I decided all the turbos for a single turbo were a little bit too big for the motor because it's only low revving. One of these turbos is just too small for the bike, so I put two on. Had a bit of trouble getting it running right. But now, I reckon I've nailed it. Or have I? Well, you're going to find out later on in this video. Saturday, the most magical day of the week. Hello, do you want feeding? Look at this lot. Look. I don't like look at that cloud, that black sky. Well, we're going to have showers today, but hopefully it stays dry so I can test my bike and then get to Willowbank later. Right, I'm just going for a quick test ride before it rains. It's like early in the morning, but rain's coming today. So I want to get it tested before I clean it, and then hopefully the rain will clear up before I go to Willowbank tonight. But I've got one black exhaust pipe and one white exhaust pipe because I'm not sure which one I like yet. So I'm going to leave them on here for a little while and then see which one I like. So I'm going for a spin to test the actual. I put the standard gearing back on it again now. 16 tooth at the front and 37 at the back, I think. Yeah, I think that's right. And before I had a 17 tooth on the front and a 42 tooth on the back. So hopefully the torque of the turbo motor now is going to help that, because it runs out of power top end and it's got way more torque down low. So I figured higher gearing would be better. And to be honest, I don't notice the difference sort of low down. So I think it's going to be good. Because I was having to change from 4th gear into 5th gear just before the finish line on the drag strip. And it's a real awkward place where your sort of speed drops off. So I'm hoping it's not going to do that now. I'm only going to be using 4 gears instead of 5. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm going to put it away now, clean it, so I don't want to break it. It smells nice now though. Well, it doesn't, because I can smell the exhaust wrap burning off too. It feels like it loves this gearing, actually, to be honest. So I'm looking forward to tonight. Now the question, black exhaust wrap or white exhaust wrap? Really don't know. Comment below, even if you hate it, which a lot of people do. But my legs were getting really hot on the way to work, so it needed doing. And it smells really nice when it's running now because of this. VP Racing Fuels upper cylinder lubricant. I'm putting that in because I'm running E85 and E85 hasn't got the lubricating qualities of normal pump gas for the top end. So that's why that goes in. And it smells of bubble gum. And this little bottle here, which is 475 ml, will do 200 litres of fuel. So that lasts me about a week in this thing. I'm not sponsored by these guys yet at all. So this is just what I'm using. I was a little bit concerned about taking this to Dragstrip, I thought I was actually going to come back and be rebuilding the engine, because it has had so much abuse since I first put the supercharger on and then trying to set all this up and stuff like that. It's a little bit tired now and it definitely needs a rebuild, and it's making quite a few more noises than it used to. So I was a little bit worried that it was going to go bang very soon. But it's back here in one piece and it's running great, sort of. It's basically a stock motor, apart from it's got forged low compression pistons. People always ask me about the compression on it. I did have the original pistons in it, which are 12-to-1 compression, because this motor here is actually out of a speed twin and it's not the original bobber motor. I've got the original bobber motor as well, but the pistons were cast and the ring gaps on them are too tight in standard form to take the extra cylinder pressure. And I did actually break a ring land on the piston when it was on the dyno, but I still took it to the drag strip after that and ran 12-second quarters. There's lots of videos about all that. You can go back and watch that if you haven't seen it already. But with the supercharger on it, my quickest ET was 11.3 at about 115 miles an hour, my quarter miles were. I really want to be quicker than that with the turbos to prove that they do actually work. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I know there's definitely way more torque down low, but I think because they're so small, there are a little bit of a restriction up top. But I did change the gearing to higher gearing so I can use all that extra torque down low. Anyway, back to the drag strip. Well, I'm looking forward to this. I've got a turbo pipe someone's pointed out which has been rubbing on my tyre, which is about to blow through. So I need to point the camera at it to see what's going on. The track looks slippery. I'm going to watch where I'm going to go. Engine lights on, ABS lights on, traction control lights on, because I've turned the ABS off with my switch. Got the traction control turned off.
No Supra. I'm recording you, jackass. That's pretty clean.
My mic fell out on that run, so I'm dubbing over this. I just took it easy on my first run off the line because I just wanted to make sure the bike was okay and it was pulling okay, it wasn't detonating or leaning out or anything like that. And it ran a 12.06 at 111 miles an hour.
Thank you.
And the gearing, it feels really, really good because I can leave it in fourth gear and it nearly revs out in fourth. So the 60-foot time, my 60-foot time was down by about 0.2 of a second. So that would sort of equate to 11.8 on the quarter mile if I get off the line a little bit better. I was pretty pleased with that and the gearing and making progress. And I proved that the turbos actually work. It drives, well, rides lovely on the street, ticks over idles, doesn't overheat, especially with the 85. And I take it to a drag strip and it performs. So that's sorted. So I decided I want to give it a bit more off the line next time. Oh, and I've got to rig my camera up to see if that boost hose is doing anything silly. Somebody in the fire up road pointed out that my boost hose had nearly worn through because it'd been rubbing on the tyre. So I repositioned it, stuck a bit of tape round it, and I've got my camera pointing at it to see if it actually does anything, like blows out or anything. I didn't have too many disasters last run, I just didn't get off the line well. I'm going to give it a lot more this time. I'm going to try and look at my rev counter. It's hard though, that stupid little thing. I've got my camera pointed at my boost hose. And next run I'm going to actually point at my AFR gauge and boost gauge, and now I might put a bit of time in it, I'm not sure. I'll see how it goes. I don't really want to blow it up. I was having trouble with the adapter for my mic in my DJI again. But what I'm explaining here as I'm riding along is it feels like the top end speed is limited, like the speed limiter is turned on the ECU. Because it just so happened that my first pass was at 111 miles an hour. And that's what the speed limit is set to with tuned ECU. It's 179 k's an hour, which equates to 111 miles per hour. And it just felt like it was holding back top end then. Thank you. The ET was what was expected because I got off the line better. I normally run a 1.7 60 foot and this was a 1.69, so that works out about right. But a mile an hour is down a little bit. So that was all right. It felt like it was pulling really hard. Well, it was pulling really hard before this feeling of the speed limiter sort of came in. So at this point, I reckon it's got a 10 in it with a little bit of tweaking here and there and me riding. I can get a lot harder off of the line as well. I'm not really giving it many berries off the line yet. And I did have my quickest 60 foot time and it was bogs. So there's room for improvement there. So I went back to the pits, had a look round it to make sure no boost hoses were off or anything obvious, give the boost hoses a tug, looked round them, looked round the bike, and everything seemed sweet. So I got tuned ECU on it and had a look at the speed limiter, which I believe I've messed about with it a lot. I've actually had a really big week and I was really tired. I had a big weekend before trying to actually sort this thing out and get it running right. But anyway, tune ECU. I believe that little box not being ticked is the speed limit has been turned off because I paid for an extra license so I could actually do that on the bike, and I did that and it's always been fine. But for some reason, maybe my license has ran out or something like that, I'm not sure. But I was really tired and it was sort of dark in the pits, and messing around with this, I couldn't really think straight, especially when there's a lot going on with the drag strip and the bike as well. So I determined that it was turned off, and I was pretty sure it was. So I had a little look at a few other things. Everything seemed right. So I just put it down to, I don't know really. I thought I'd go out and have another run and see what happened. Thank you. Definitely there's something not right there. 12.97 at 97 miles an hour. I'm normally doing 97 miles an hour at the 8th. So I went back to the pits, had a look around all the boost hoses again, give them a tug, had a look at all the obvious things. Couldn't really see anything. My brain wasn't working by this point because I was pretty tired. So I decided to pack up and not risk actually breaking the bike. I do make these sensible decisions every now and again. And went home. Well, I went and watched a few cars and stuff, run, and then went home. So I got back home, unloaded the bike off the trailer while getting abused by the prick next door because the winch was too loud at 8:30 at night. Some people are just so sad that they can't handle seeing anybody else getting on with their lives and they have to control things outside of their control. Anyway, and now the next day, have a look around here. It all looks pretty good, right? That's not moving off of there, or isn't it? That's pushing tight up against it, but that's not actually on, look. That pesky boost hose again. So I'm absolutely kicking myself because I could have actually sorted this out pretty easy and got a couple more runs in and actually put a bit more timing in it and messed about and tried to get it quicker, launched off the line harder. But this is a thing. This is a trouble when you're tired. You don't think of these things, these simple things, what you've done 1,000 times before. And with my experience on cars, doing this so many times on cars. Anyway, that piece there, that's the original Triumph bit. That's the bit what keeps popping off. I'm going to get some new ones because this is a bit hard now and don't think it's soft enough. And I do have a little bit of a plan up my sleeve. I can actually trim this hose or this pipe a little bit better to get it to fit on there a bit better. But I think the main thing is this rubber's just gone a bit hard now. That's where I'm at with that. Someone said the other day that I'm like a dog with a bone. Well, I've still got that bone. I'm still chasing that 10-second quarter. And I'm really happy with the progress I've made so far. I've kept on keeping on and really happy with the way it's running, and I've actually made progress and proved that all this works. So now I've just got to refine it a little bit more, and my riding, I need to sort out a rev counter for it so I can sort out my gear change a bit better, and I have an idea for a budget quick shift as well. So there's content coming up about all of that, and I do have some other really interesting content and ideas which I'm bringing into life, but I can't tell you about them yet. So subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff, and have a great day and keep on keeping on too.